What's going on, everybody? YL from rebelears.com here. And as you can see, we are gigging on the QL1 today, tucked off in this corner. Of course, I have my custom fader bank. Got two microphones. I got some playback coming from a TV truck. I have an audio feed that's going to be fed from another section of this show where I'll show you guys later. Of course, I have my laptop, my mic groups. I got 4 different zones of PS15s and some subs. So, if you look here, these are my different PS15 speakers going into this Nexo amp rack. All right, everything is NL4 like I usually talk about. Only XLR is coming from this amp rack into this console. No Dante today because the amp rack and everything, inputs and outputs that I have to plug in is right here at the console. No need for a digital stage box. Right now, amp racks are muted. That's how I like to keep them until it's time to actually get to it. So I will show you guys the speakers. These are the PS15s, Nexo PS15s. I have 8 of these. I got 2 on each channel. You can plug in 3 on each channel, but because of the way the room is set up, I did 2 on each channel. All right, so this speaker here and this speaker over here is zone 1. So this is zone 1 right here, these 2. And then I have a sub over here tucked off in the corner that somebody keeps damn moving, and I'm gonna move it back to where I had it because I care about my proximity. The way the speakers are spread it out, I want my subs pushing into the room. Those 2 speakers here, right there, are zone 2. And I got a speaker over there in that corner, way over there. Have another speaker here. That is zone 3. And I have one right here by this door here. And then of course that speaker closest to me, those are zone 4. I have another sub in that corner over there. So those are my zone 1 sub, zone 2 sub. So 8 speakers, 4 subs total. I'm only using 2 of them. Oh, sorry. I'm using all 4 of them. They're actually jumped together. In one of my other rooms that I'm in charge of, I'm only using 2, but I got 4 in there. Only using the 2. So yeah, this is pretty much the gig. Not talking about it too much. This is an exclusive type of show. As you guys can see, we are at a hangar. So just really quickly show you guys my subs. Of course, I'm dipping out right around, probably about 1800 on up hertz as far as my frequency. I only want this right here to be coming out of my subs. I don't want any mids or highs or high mids or anything like that coming out of my subs. That's why I have these beautiful boxes here. These PS15s actually push lows really hard. So I got subs, I got some boxes that push highs, mids, and lows. They push lows pretty hard. So as you can see, I'm actually dipping out on the lows. Some of these low mids here as well. This is my EQ for all of my different zones, right? So for all of the different boxes, like I said, they push lows really hard. So I'm taking out lows there, taking out highs on the subs. That's one way that, you can tune your room. When you understand your speakers, understand your subs, then you already know, how to EQ these certain speakers when you want to actually tune the room itself. Now, if I want to show you guys something. All right, so you see PS15s. This is my crossover. Well, hold on, so the crossover is 85 to 20K. So these speakers are only pushing out from 85 hertz to 20,000 hertz. As far as frequencies, I'm cutting out everything under 85. Why? Because I have these 4 subs that's gonna boom this room I don't need these PS15s to play anything under 85. Now, there is a setting where I could have did my crossover at 40 hertz to 20,000. If I didn't have subs, I probably would, and I just let the boom come out of the PS15s, but I got boom in my subs. All right, and then as you can see, my sub crossover is 40 to 120. All right. So my subs crossover, they're pushing anywhere from 40 hertz to 120 hertz is where you want your subs to pretty much live at. And this right here is just, you know, it's really just a reinforcement EQ, what I'm doing right here. All right. Let me see, show you my mic group. So on the QL1, it's a little different than the TF, which is, it's a better console. It's a more intricate console. You have to actually use inserts for your graphic EQ. So you can see where I'm digging out at. Digging out a couple lows just for the room itself. Digging out 2K, 8K. Those are always harsh frequencies when you're dealing with mics. The speakers are spread all the way out. We got 8. We got plenty of PA in here, so I don't have to boost. I don't have to boost my gain on my microphone, so I don't have to go so hard on my GEQ for my mic group. Then I also have a premium rack, which is a Yamaha bus compressor. You see that? So I've showed you guys that in the short, how it reacts, and we get our gain reduction right where we want it at, like -3 dB for our gain reduction. Threshold is like right around 6. I don't need any gain ratio, 4.4 to 1. You know, that's just pretty much a standard for vocals. So yeah, I got a GEQ and a bus compressor on my mic group to just kind of hone in and pull that tone and pull that sound together. So this is what I'm doing in this room. I have another room that I got going on. And if we go out here, I also have some stuff in this tent here. And this actually is on truss in the air. It's gonna fly in the air. I'll show you my amp rack for this room. So this is the PD I'm using. This is how we power this stuff up. You know, these cables will kill you. There's a lot of power coming from here. We usually have specified master electricians, but of course, you know, when you do this job enough, then you know exactly how to hook up your own power without killing yourself. That is something that's major. So these are my 2 amp racks for this tent behind me. So yeah, you see a left, my right. Now I'm jumping, I got PS10s on the truss inside that tent. And I'm using, basically, these are my 2 home runs, and I'm jumping my inputs because I ran the cables I ran my NL4 before actually knowing how many speakers I was gonna have. So you can run 3 of these on one channel. I ran 2 on each channel in there in the tent as well. I really would only had just A and C, but since it was already ran, and I'll show you that it's not going to be that easy to just pull it back, I just went ahead and jumped it. It's all good. It is what it is. Everything works. I had to unplug these due to the fact that we have to run the cables a certain kind of way. I'll kind of give you guys a little scope of that. That room is still ongoing, so I won't show too much of that. I won't do a lot of talking in there. These amp racks are not on right now because that room is still underway. I'm done with my job. Now I'm just waiting on a couple other departments to finish their parts. So I'm going to go back this way. And as you can see, so this tent that I'm in right here are gonna be delays for this huge PA out there. Now the PA is back on the ground. We had it flying in the air yesterday. This is a really, really huge show. Once this PA gets back into the sky, we will you know, test signal again, and I will dial in my delays, these speakers here, off of this PA here. All right, I'll show you guys that PA probably in another video, or I might kind of add it to this a little bit later on. Like I said, it's not really a lot I can show due to the fact that this is an exclusive event. But you also see the truss in the ceiling right there. All right, and then cables have to be these cables here. They loom together. My cables are in there. They got to be taken up into the ceiling and brought outside out here, and then I can plug them in into my amp rack. All right, so I'll be dialing in these speakers up top, these PS10s you see. They will be delays for this big PA outside that I'll show you later. So this is the DM3 that I was using to control that tent that I showed you guys earlier that I was going to have my delays for. So the tent doubled as kind of like two different type of shows, right? So the first part of the night was going to be, that tent was strictly to be delays for the huge line array that we had outside, and that was for a projection mapping video that Delta has recently released. So if you guys want to actually see that video of Delta's 100th year celebration, you can go and see that video mapping on the plane. So this room also after that served as an overflow room for the actual concert. So we had John Batiste, Grammy Award winner John Batiste, come out and perform. So that hangar that I showed you guys first, that I had the QL1 in, and that tent also was the overflow for this concert right here. All right, so both of those rooms doubled as like two events. I ran both of them. I was able to control both of them off of my iPad because I was sending my tent feed to the actual hangar feed. So I was sending the DM3 feed to the actual QL1 feed. And if you're still watching this video, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Keep tuning in.